Hello, hi everyone. In this video, I would like to show you how to create a workflow. If you want to find where is the course, please sign up for an account in developerservicenow.com, and you can get the course in section automating application logic. So first, what is a workflow? If I read here, a workflow is a sequence of activities to automate processes in application. I have this image, and if you're a beginner, it's going to be like, what is it? It may be like complicated or very complex to you in the beginning. It may seems to be like this, but it's not that much complicated. I will show you what is a process first, and then let's start to create one simple workflow, which is going to be like, we are going to use the application Needit, and we're gonna create a workflow which is gonna trigger an approval. First, define what is a process. So I just have an image here which I downloaded from internet. Very simple one. Let's say you are asking a request for going for vacation, and your manager can either approve, can either reject. If he rejects or she rejects, you have to change your plan. You have no choice. Otherwise, you can carry on with your plan. This is this simple process. Let's say if you want to let's see a little bit more one which is involving much more people, not this one, for example. This one is like for drafting a document and for archiving a document. Let's say you have a contract, and this contract need to be reviewed for different people, like, I don't know, legal or financial people or any sort of person. So the document is going first from draft to review document, and the documents can be either approved, all the information inside is correct, I'm gonna approve, and it's going to be archived, and also I'm going to send some notification to the person initially send the request to me, or in between I can say, no, this document is not correct, please review again. So here we have like much more actions. We have one action is notifying the user by email if everything is good, and another action is archive the document. The other things is like checking the conditions, like if the document is correct or not, in what cases what we have to do. So we have different things here. We have conditions, we have and activities, workflow activities, and this is the thing that we are going to look specifically when we create our workflow. So this can be applied in a lot of different things. So IT processes or business processes, manufacturing processes, and ServiceNow is more like IT, but it can be as well used for procurement or other activities. So let's create one and directly. So at this point, you understood what is a process and what a workflow is doing. The workflow is going to automate this process. It's going to make it faster. It's going to like go very quickly. And we have when to use workflow processes. Use workflow process to automate multi-step. When to use workflow. Use workflows to automate multi-step processes, such as approvals that we are going to do, SLA, task creation, event generation, email notification. So I'm just reading here, and approvals. So that's what we are going to do. SLA is the service level agreement. If you want to know what is an SLA, you can type in Google. Service level agreement is like, if you're a business owner and if you like to, and you have a client and you have a lot of users, those users, they can contact you. Let's say you're an IT service provider. You're solving IT issues. Like, the user can call you or send you email, open a chat, or any sort of these things. And the service level agreement is telling to the client, hey, I'm gonna solve the issue within 3 hours for a call, within 3 days for an email, this sort of thing. So it's basically a contract you sign in the beginning, and with certain conditions. And as you have a different type of medium of contact from the user, you have to define this SLA and use depending on the type of request you receive from the beginning. So that's apparent to this, like brackets, I would like to say. And the rest of the thing is like very simple email notification, event generation. I have no idea what is it, but I will discover it a bit later. And let's start to create one. So this is so you go to exercise, create Needit approval workflow, create the Needit approval workflow and system. So either you can go system application studio, either you can open your directly from here workflow editor, and you click on workflow editor and you have new workflow. You click on that and you're gonna give a name. I created like 1-2 times and it's giving me a message like you already created, even though I verified that I deleted them. Okay, Needit approval. Here we are going to choose the table. Okay, telling me again that I have this. Okay, I'm gonna put number 1 for sure. Is not going to tell anything. Here we are going to choose the Needit table, which is this one, and we're gonna put the description that I have here. So request approval for requested for managers and set value on reject or approve. Okay, I have to show something which is like when we are going to use this workflow. Okay, the workflow is, if I open Needit, is a Needit request coming from a certain user, let's say here Adela, and if the state is going to be awaiting approval, that's the condition. If that, for that condition, you have to send this ticket, this request to another person, specifically here the manager of Adela, in order to either approve, either reject. That's the workflow. That's where we are going to create the workflow and run it. We're gonna trigger it when that one person is going to create a Needit request by putting the state as awaiting approval. So here the first thing, if condition matches, run always, run the workflow always. And here I'm gonna type state and is going to be awaiting approval. So at this point we are setting up the conditions for the workflow. Great. So we have two things here. We have the beginning and the end. So I'm gonna put it like this. So in between, so we have one node, this is called nodes, and we're gonna set here the activities, workflow activities. Our first workflow activities is I trigger. You already told to the system you begin the workflow if the condition where the Needit ticket and the state for the Needit ticket is awaiting approval, start this workflow. And then we are going to tell to the system what you should do. So you should send that ticket for approval, right? For that you need to go to core and then you choose approval user, and you're going to drag and drop this one, and it's quite easy. And you have to make sure that when you drag and drop, the line have to become blue, and that at that point you can do it. And it's going to directly open a new set of form where you're going to just fill up the informations. So I'm going to just scroll down and then just copy paste request manager approval. Okay, I'm going to put that here. This is what I want, request manager approval. There is no condition at this point. We have to say who is going to be the approval. I click here at the user point. Here we are going to define the manager of the person who is requesting the who is creating the tickets, the incidents. The way you do, as you first you click on that icon, and then you click here and you choose requested for and you pick manager. At this point we have to see here a $sign and some other information dot manager. This is very important to notice. It's kind of different. It's not usual things that we can see. This is called dot walking, and what it's going to do is like you requested for is the how to say is the label is the field of requested for when is the name of the field, not the name of the field which is shown, but the name for ServiceNow. So actually, if you have to imagine when the table Needit is created and when they are creating the form, and in the form when you are defining the field requested for, you have two information. One, you are giving the name by writing requested for. The other one, it comes down and you have usually underscore this kind, and then again underscore. That is the reference for ServiceNow in order to find out that field. And here you are mentioning that field in order to tell to the system this is the field we are looking for. And at this point, the dot walking job is going to take what is the value we have on the requested for field. If we have this person look at, go and take of his manager, go look for the manager. That's how he's doing. I don't know in depth how it's working, but this is the structure of the syntax, and this is the meaning of this syntax. All you need to know is to understand this thing is doing at this point, looking for the manager. So we're gonna click again, lock it. So we have done, and anyone to approve, wait for. So when we receive the request is received, so is going to be approved by the manager, and you don't need to touch any other things, or you just need to submit. So here we have our thing. So it has the conditions. It goes to the user. If the user approve, as a result, you click on approve, it's gonna finish. And we have to also do some other things in between the approval user and the end. We have to set the value of the state to approved in the ticket level. So for that, we are going back to, so in the core activities, and as it was already open, is now you have to go to utilities here, and you have set values. You just drag and drop, and here you have to wait for until it becomes blue. Yeah, that's how. Okay, it's not doing that. I'm going to, okay, great. So here we are going to set I don't know by heart what is the name is given. I'm going to just set the state to approved. Okay, that's what I'm gonna just copy paste that. Okay, student copy. Okay, and what is the state? We are going to look for the state, and it's going to be approved. That's what we want. If the manager approves, it's going to be approved. The state of the ticket. After that, submit. So we have defined at this point what it should do, and we're gonna put this thing here, and better here like this. And then now we have another thing. What if the manager reject? It should also change the state to close complete, for example. We're gonna close the incident and it's gonna end. The workflow should end. So we have to also set once more the value. In that part, we're gonna again drag and drop just on the right on the middle, and we're gonna put, where is that? Rejected. So set the state to close. Great. And I'm gonna put state here, and it should be close complete. That's what we want. If the person reject, it's going to be closed. Done. But right now it's not connected. You have to connect. You have to say from this point you have to connect the nodes. You have to say this node, if it is rejected, it should go to this node. So all you need to do is to just do this. It's connected. Now we are at this point, but it's closed, but it's not ending the workflow. We have to end the workflow. So we are again going to connect the nodes to our endpoint. Okay, again. Okay, so now we have a very simple workflow created for Needit request, either approve, either reject, based on the initial state which is awaiting for approval. And we have to validate that. That is the part we're gonna say it's gonna check everything is correct, nothing is missing, and everything is good here in this part. So we have seen here what the beginning, the end. This is the the workflow activities, the conditions, and the nodes, and the transition in between those blocks. Now I'm going to validate that. Info warn 0, critical 0. So perfect, everything is green. I'm gonna do that. So now it's ready. We can now check if we create an incident, if it goes to the manager or not. Okay, so we are not going to use, so I'm going back to here in Discord. So we have to make sure that the user is creating, for example, I'm going to create as per the training, the user Adela as set as manager Fred Ludi. Fred Ludi is actually the founder of ServiceNow. He's going to be the manager at this time, and he's going to approve or reject a request. So you have to make sure that the manager field is there and Fred Ludi is chosen, and also make sure if Fred Ludi is as a user in his role, you have to check he has the manager role. That's something else. If you don't have, you have to go here, configure, and form layout. Okay, it's taking a bit of time, and you have to look for here for manager. It's under location. So manager, you're gonna just put it on the right side. I have already set that here, so I don't need to do that again. But if you don't have the manager field, you have to go to this point and then choose manager, and then you can put wherever you want. You save it, and then you choose here Fred Ludi as a manager, and also you check on the Fred Ludi user profile. So for example here, Fred Ludi user profile, and here we have roles, and you should have manager role. So we have the manager role. So two things that need to be done, like if you want, you can just we don't have it here, but in this part we have the part excite test and publish the Needit approval workflow. We have the explanation how to put that person as define the manager for Adela Cervantes. Okay, now we are going to create a ticket. So Needit create new, and here I'm going to choose Adela. Let's put human resources, that's a request. I'm going to put a random date in the future, and it's going to be awaiting approval. So at this point, if I submit this request, it should go to Fred Ludi for approval. So please remember here the request number is 2004 in the end. So I'm going to put submit. Great, I have one here, 2004. Now I have to check if Fred Ludi has the request to approve. That's what our workflow should do. So I'm going to impersonate. I'm going to do impersonate, and I choose Fred Ludi. So I'm going to pretend I'm Fred Ludi, and here, and go to service desk, and I click on my approval, and I can see here we have our ticket, and I002004 is waiting for approval by Fred. So Fred Luddy should approve. So if I click on that, so I have two options. So I have the details here, human resources 1. I have the other option, either approve, either reject. So I'm gonna approve. Great, it's done. And I'm gonna check the state of the Needit ticket. And I forgot to impersonate as a system administrator. Great. Now I'm going to Needit. Yes, here, and I'm going here. It's approved. As you can see, the state is changed, which means our workflow is working perfectly. It was approved and is changed to approve. That's where if we refuse, it's going to set as close complete. I didn't even check before if you refuse what happened. Let's check. Let's do another one, and this time let's put legal, and then let's put this same date awaiting approval, and we're gonna refuse the request. Okay, so it's 2005, so in the end of the number, so it's fine. So awaiting approval, I'm going to impersonate again. I'm going to put Fred Liddy, and I'm going to service desk and my approvals, and it's going to be this one. I'm gonna reject it. Commands are required. I know, test. It was rejected, and I'm going to impersonate the system administrator, and this time Needit, all close complete. As you can see, this ticket is close complete. That's how you can do how to say a workflow, how you can use a workflow, how you can automate processes. This is a very simple one. If you want to know much more in detail, you're free to consult all this thing already available. Explore that. There are very complicated ones, very complex ones, as you can see here. There are different like there are set values, notification, run script, all these things, and you can go progressively. Thanks for watching. Hope you like it. Until next time, bye.